Well, good morning, everybody. How is everybody this lovely Monday morning? And just a little bit of a thing for you to know. I've got my lovely cup of coffee here, and so does Wanda. And mine says, no one is you, and that is your power. Remember that. Your individuality, everything that you are, is your power. And Wanda's is, you did not wake up to be mediocre. Is this not true? So
this is true.
When you get out of bed in the morning, especially on a Monday morning, you've got a nice week ahead of you, and just start thinking about those kinds of things. So welcome to Rev It Up with, I am Rev Sheryl. Today I have Wanda with me. I'll go into saying a little more about her in a minute. Just a little bit about this show is that what we're trying to do is, the purpose is to bring people who are thinking and doing things that are just a little bit outside that box in mainstream thinking. You know, so we'll have everything on this show, from mediums to demon chasers to people who speak light language. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful, wonderful people on here, and just want to take some of the fear around that. Because there's people that think, oh, if you're like this, if you're a psychic, you must read my mind. That's not at all what psychics do. They have enough going on there already. They're not reading your mind. I can tell you that right now. That's a lot of work, you know that? Anyways, as we continue on here, we're going to do the interview with Wanda, and then after that, we're going to both do readings afterwards until the end of the show. I will pull 3 cards. I also want to announce who last week's winner is for the free 15-minute reading, and we will carry on from there. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Wanda Buchleitner-Garstad. Did I say that right?
You rock. That's a hard one.
You should see how it's written. Let me tell you, it does not look like Buchleitner at all. So Wanda is she's a certified holistic health practitioner. She's a psychic medium, shamanic practitioner. She's a death soul midwife, body talk, and systemic constellation therapist. And we're going to talk about those 2 things that she does, which is being a death and soul midwife, as well as the systemic constellation therapist. And so aside from being born with these abilities, Wanda's gathered her knowledge from many gifted earthly teachers. I think we all have mentors, and continues to do so. I mean, we're always learning until the day we die, hopefully. Mm-hmm. She considers herself a student of life and spirit, and this is why we're connected at the soul, because we're soul sisters for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what I love is that your dedication to bringing awareness to the importance of that connection with spirit is self-governed. All of us, we just have a knowing. We just have a knowing. Are we connected to spirit? Yeah, spirit speaks to us in so many different ways, okay? And so this is what we're talking about today. Now, I do have some questions for Wanda. We're going to keep an eye on the time, make sure that we don't get too wordy here, because, you know, we can get in pretty deep. We can get in with both feet and not get out of here.
We can.
So, I love that. I love that the topic of this show is about finding our relationship to something that is a part of and is much bigger than you. Finding a belief system that works for you in life and death.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to explain about that a little more?
As individuals, we're, at least us anyway, are living in a society where there are quite a few belief systems that may or may not work for us. Not only that, but we also are kind of a superstitious lot.
Ah,
and
Irish,
Norwegian,
trolls.
Yeah, that's right. So for me, it's very important to have that awareness about where you are inside of the big picture, and
Yes.
that no matter how small you are, you make a difference, and that knowing that you're supported in something much bigger than yourself is
True.
So important. It is an empowering place to be. And so that's what's important to me. It's one of my passions is to bring an opportunity for people to find their own relationship with life and with death as a death midwife.
I would think that there's quite a few people that really don't have a good relationship with death. We think that death is a failure, so many of us, and we think that if we don't do everything in our power to stay alive, and that's not meaning that you just give up on yourself. This isn't what that's about. But when death is inevitable, people, and nobody's getting out of here alive. So death is very, very much a part of life. And we really need to see it as that. We need to see death as being a part of life, and that it is not the end all and be all. There is a life after this life. It's just the other life. We're just, it's like a graduation. And I believe this is what you do, is it not? Is it you help people see death from a different perspective?
Yes, absolutely. So as a death soul midwife, I work with individuals or groups or families for the kind of before, during, and after process. And that looks like ceremonies, like healings, like all sorts of things that that we need as a support system, just like a birth midwife does. And in fact, years and years ago, that's what birth midwives did, was they not only helped those who were coming in, but they also helped those going out
that were leaving.
But that was sort of taken out of the sphere by funeral homes.
Now, what would be a ceremony that you would do for somebody?
There's many. A ceremony that's actually something that's really wonderful is actually a living ceremony. So to celebrate that person before they go.
Oh, that happened with my father. We called that a living memorial.
Yes.
Where he invited all friends and family to come in and have final words with him, have last words with him.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a wonderful way to exit. Right? It's a wonderful way to acknowledge the life that you've created now, right? And so there's many different ways. There's also healing processes that you can do either as an individual or with a family, so that, you have some things cleaned up. Just because you're dying doesn't mean that healing isn't available to you.
Right.
You can heal past that process of death.
So you don't have to do this process alone or without purpose. Because some people who are dying feel they can be quite fearful in that there's no purpose to what they're doing other than dying. They're not seeing that their death is giving anybody any life.
Correct. Yes.
So, and I think that's the hardest part for families is when they see somebody dying in their family, they love them so much and they don't want them to leave, that the pain of that loss, I think, is what really, when somebody is ill, what would you say to those people who are experiencing somebody dying? And that person is very sick, and the last thing they need is having to feel like they have to heal somebody else. And that what would you say about that? Or I could be completely wrong.
To clarify, the person who's passing away needing to heal the ones that are grieving?
Sometimes they can. There's not much. There's not a lot of. So what's the difference between being authentic and really helping that person who's over? What are some things that you can tell people what they can do to support a person who is dying?
Well, that's and it's interesting because it's different for every person.
Oh,
It's different
right.
for any family system, because you're dealing with different belief systems. You're dealing with different concepts of life and death. And so it is very different for each situation. But one thing that I can say is that to just be there, to be able to sit with someone and just sit. You don't need to talk. There doesn't need to be a lot of action. Just to be present in the moment and present with them is worth everything. And so, and that's difficult for us who have issues with death. We live in a death-phobic society. It's very difficult for someone to sit with death.
I like that word, death-phobic. Yes. I like that. Yeah.
And so it's something that we have a hard time doing. A lot of us get into tasks and action, right? Oh, we've got to do this, and we've got to fix the blankets, and we've got to plump the pillow, and we've got to keep moving, because we're in avoidance. But True. To just sit and be present and hold space is paramount.
Yeah, I would say that would be true. With my own dad's passing, that's what we tried our best to do, is we tried to take a lot of what we felt when he died, that would be our time for grieving. We could grieve all we wanted then, but we did what we could to support him while he was here. And again, that living memorial was probably the best. And you know what I have to say about death is that when I go, you can kiss my ash goodbye.
Yeah, I want the true Viking way. Just throw me on a boat and burn me.
Absolutely. That's it. Floating down a river. I'll make sure you get that, Wanda. Any particular songs you want to sing?
Oh, yeah, I got them down. And that's part of actually what I'd like to talk about, too, is as a death midwife, it's also very helpful because we live in this society where it's phobic. Most people aren't prepared.
Right.
And so to assist in that as well is very important.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with that. I'm telling you, it's, I've done mediumship, and Wanda also does mediumship and mediumship readings with people. And she's done some wonderful demonstrations. She does demonstrations out of the Calgary First Spiritualist Church.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Yeah. I've seen you do demonstrations there. Okay. And you just do a wonderful job. You really pick up on those people that have passed on. I know there's people who do not believe in life beyond this, that it just doesn't happen. But I can tell you that there is life beyond this. And when somebody passes, they heal. That is part of the ultimate healing, is that passing to the other side. It is, and from what I have experienced with spirit, is that they are all in a very good place.
Yes, they can be.
For the most part, they're all in a...
Yep.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about this
death midwifery?
Yeah.
That's my passion, to help individuals, to help families, to help groups. I facilitate, I do talks, I do speeches, I do presentations, all on being able to bring this subject out into the open. So important, because we don't talk about these things. And with my work, it's not about me. It's not about my belief system. It is about allowing and holding space for someone to create their own relationship with death and with life, because they are congruent. Same coin.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I noticed there's something else that you do. It's called systemic constellation therapy. Can you just spend just a little bit of time on that?
Sure. It's hard to spend a little time on constellation work. Same with
like
death
it.
midwifery, but it's yeah, they're very big subjects. But the systemic constellation work is such an incredible combination of all the modalities that I have discovered over my lifetime. And the systemic work is about working with a system.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's a family system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also called a family of origin healing.
Okay.
But it can also be done inside of a business, inside of a body, and any system.
Mm-hmm.
Because within a system, you're either in right relationship or you're not. And so inside of the work of constellation therapy, we discover where there is an illness, a discord, something out of right relationship. It can look like anxiety, depression, patterns that you can't shift, illnesses that you can't get rid, that may not necessarily be fully yours.
Oh.
In lineage, our ancestors pass on to us legacy burdens and legacy blessings.
Oh.
And so inside of that, we can be entangled and have something that's kind of running as an undercurrent in our life that we are not aware that actually isn't ours.
Oh.
And so we might take it on as ours because we're not aware that this is an undercurrent. But when we look at systemic, we find the source of the issue. And when we get to that source, then we heal it at the source, and then it no longer affects you. This is amazing work because it is psychotherapy and shamanism combined.
I love that.
It's beautiful and very, very effective.
Oh my gosh, that just sounds amazing. It really does. And I think in our journeys, most of the time our journeys are about healing. And we're always healing one layer at a time. And we're not only healing from our own personal lives, our genetics, our ancestry. There's healing to be done at all levels. Some people even bring past life into it.
Yes, absolutely. I bring past life into systemic work a lot.
Right.
Oh, actually, it brings it in. I don't do anything. I'm just a big tool. So, right. So that's just the truth of it. And this modality is incredibly effective and heals not just yourself, but many generations past and also forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds like a big order. That's a big meal on the menu of life, I can tell you.
But it works.
Yes, this sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So what led you to all of this? What would you say, when were you first aware of that you had this gift? Were you called woo-woo?
Yeah. I always knew I was different. I definitely knew that. I think I was 4 or 5 when I discovered that I needed to pay attention to something. I think that I always had those woo-woo moments, but I just thought they were normal, right?
See, that's just it. They're different. Yeah. We're not this whole idea of that we're doing the devil's work or that it's evil or it's normal. You'll find these 5-year-old kids that are just amazing. Yes. They're amazing what they know already. My granddaughter sees fairies. Yeah. She used to see fairies and oh yeah. All of it seems like my lineage tends to be a little bit woo-woo.
Yes, mine too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure.
It was actually part of that process for me because they, although they didn't have religion, right? I think if they worshipped anything, it was nature and animals. But they also had their own abilities and didn't know how to deal with them. So to have the daughter come and go, there's a guy in my room that won't go away was quite just, they didn't know what to do with that. Right. Yeah. And so I learned that really quickly. Just let don't talk about that. Right. And they used to say to me, you want to talk to God or you want to be connected, you get on your horse and you ride in the bush. That's where God is. God's not just in a church. God's everywhere.
God is. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah. God within. Yeah. God within. Absolutely. So would you say that you've always been working with your gifts then? Would you say that you've always been in some way working with them?
Yeah, not purposefully. I think for the first part of my world, I avoided it as much as I possibly could, but that didn't stop me from having experiences. And so in my 20s, I decided to go a little deeper and think, well, it's not going away, so I better do something with it.
Yes, and then, absolutely.
Yeah, and then later on, it became my purpose.
Yes.
And so it's been a gradual but beautiful process inside of that.
Oh, wow. It is. It is. And for all of us who thinks that we're a little bit on the woo-woo side, that's good. That's, woo-woo is good.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel empowered to be a bit woo-woo. So, there's many different ideas and aspects about being woo-woo. I love the idea that, well, I accidentally had to deal with this.
Yes.
Accidentally, unintentionally, I kind of had to look at this. Well, I will tell you that. So one question I love to ask is, if you were to wish one thing for this universe or planet, what would that be?
It would look exactly like it does right now.
Yeah.
Except that inside our collective, our earthly human collective, and also any other collective out in the universe, that there would be no commitment to suffering.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, that gives me goosebumps just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I love that. So do you have any upcoming workshops or anything else you would like to promote here?
I'm a busy girl. Yeah. I've got some I've got some things happening. I'm actually going to do a talk at the First Calgary Spiritualist Church on the 26th of August. And that's going to be about working with receiving and giving and working with the duality in this world. Then also in September, October, I've got this systemic constellation work happening here in Calgary and in Edmonton. Then I have the Stepping into the Mystery workshop happening in Lethbridge in November. I also have another series that I've created, which is actually going to be for the next year, right into 2019, called the Mystery Series. And it is very much about learning tools and how to be in life through the awareness of death. So very excited about that too.
Now, what is your, where can people reach you? Where can they find out about what's going on with you?
I have a website. The website is www.walkingsoulwisdom.com.
We'll write this in the comments too, so that people could go back and then you could refer, because she's got so many things going on here to be pulling up posters and saying, do this, do this. Just go to her website and you could find out what Wanda's up to in the coming months. And I think also if you wanted any other information, we will post it after the show in the comments, okay? Yeah, so now I would like to introduce, first of all, I want to thank you so much for giving us all this information. It's just phenomenal. We could probably talk for hours. There is no doubt. Yes. I want to introduce, or as you know, that I don't know. Just a minute. Squirrel.
Catch up. Brain or mouth catch up with brain.
Exactly. Yeah. Every week I do pull a name that will be mentioned next week. So from the people who have commented in the comment section below, I will pull your name and I will I'll announce it next week as to who will win a free 15-minute reading with me. Now, the other thing is I pulled one last week, and the winner for last week is Rhonda McCallum Bruce. And so I've already been in contact with her, and we've set a date so that we can get together and we can get her reading done. So Rhonda,
lucky girl.
Hi. So that's wonderful. So we will announce the winner next week. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start taking names, and we're going to also ask that if you know of anybody who wants to come on and get a one-card reading or one mini reading, then please come on board, and you're welcome to invite your friends, however that looks. I got to tell you that as we carry on, there's 2 people I missed last week. I really apologize for that, and there may be some people we'll miss. I apologize ahead of time for any of that. It's not intentional, and we'll send love to you no matter what. And then just try again. You'll get on there. You'll get on. You'll get your message. There's no doubt about it. So this morning, what I'm going to do is I am going to we're both going to do readings for people who have come on board. And the first person I would like to give a reading to would be Lynn. And now, Lynn, now what you do is you just go from a name, do you not? You just get a person's name, and that's all you need to do to feel.
Oh, for myself, yes.
Yes. Yep. So I'm going to let you start with Lynn. Okay. So I'll let you start, and then I'll join in a minute. I forgot my cards.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Sure. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but it's my
yeah, you do anything you want. Hi, Lynn. Okay, so first thing that's coming forward, Lynn, for you today is about working with resistance. There seems to be something going on inside of either yourself or your family system where there's some resistance to change. And I actually have a feeling that it's more about someone else rather than it is you, and that it's important to understand that somebody else's process is not your own, firstly, as you know. It also holds space for them for how they try and process what needs to happen. I just did a newsletter a while back, and the last quote was, "Change is good, donkey." So if you need to use that, Lynn, just go right ahead. It's Shrek.
I love it.
Also, remembering that you're safe and they're safe inside of the changes is important. And there you go. We got a card. She's back.
All right. Who is that guy? He's adorable, is he not? Okay. So this has to do with somebody who is, it's to do with passions. It's to do with, again, Lynn, I think sometimes we talk ourselves out of our own passions of what we want to do because we don't trust them, or we don't trust the universe that will support us, or that they have our back. So you need to bring that trust. You need to trust that it not in the people. You need to trust in the source. Mm-hmm. And it's the source that's supporting you. It comes through people. That's what it looks like, but it's the source that is actually supporting you that way. Now, another person I would like to do is I missed Donna last week, so I promised her. And Donna, I'm pulling a card for you, my dear, and I think, see, look, Donna, look at you. I absolutely love this because this has a lot of meaning. This is Donna Granite. This has a lot of meaning, only because this card, when you're looking at it, it's just so doggone beautiful. It's just showing that you're just starting to live now. You're just starting to live again. You're starting to trust in the process. You're starting to really enjoy what you're doing. And whenever I see you, you always look so beautiful. Like you always look like you're really well put together. And that's just a reflection of what's going on the inside, is that it's about putting yourself together on the inside. This, recognizing this little piece, recognizing that little piece that goes with this, that, and the other. Absolutely wonderful. Do you have something you wanted to add to that?
Can I?
Yes, please.
Part of the reason why that beauty is showing through is because of your awareness of gratitude.
Yes.
And that's actually what I was getting, was how they are honoring, but they are honoring how you hold gratitude in your body. And that's why it's so bright and shiny. So awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to, okay, what did I do? You disappeared. Yay. So I'm going to then go with Jessica. Thank you for coming, my dear girl. She's way back in Newfoundland, and she's going to school there, and she's learning some of the great mysteries.
Awesome.
She's learned more about tarot cards than you'd ever want to know.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'm going to pull a card for you, Jessica. Oh, my goodness, karma. So this, what I get, and you have the same deck, so you know what this karma card is, right? And this is about those things that go round and round and round. It's not necessarily from past lives. It's not necessarily from what comes back to bite you in the butt, is the things that you're not looking at or you're not dealing with. And sometimes we don't know they're there until we move forward. And once we move forward, then they come up and they bite us in the butt. So just keep going, my girl. Don't let this get you down. Don't let these things get out of hand for you. You go for it, girl. She's got something to say. I can tell she's champing at the bit.
Karma is an interesting concept. And what we also need to remember is that we can't always be problem-based, that karma works both ways. And that as you are doing your world, that you're creating both. And there's a lot to be said for cutting away from karmic ties.
Yes.
And that might be something you want to look into, Jessica. Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I would like to then pull a card for Paige. I'm going to pull a card for Paige Toker. This is my lovely daughter. Paige, look at you. 2 of orbs. I love this because, as you know, the orbs are about information and knowing. And this is about finding that balance between creativity, the truth about what's going on, and bringing it down to earth here, and holding on to those, always having to juggle. And you do juggle very well. You do it beautifully and very deftly, but you are managing, and beyond managing, you are finally able to take that information in and run with it, and manage it beautifully. So you're in a good space here.
Nice. It's a lot to be said for sustainability.
Yes. Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Now I'm having to look at the comments on my phone, and sometimes these phones shut down and they say you have to load 10 more comments. Yeah, and I am loading 10 more comments. Okay. Jaylene, hello, Jaylene. Okay, I will definitely pull a card for you. And I feel, you know what? I feel like this one is poking out at me. Look at that. That's a 4 of flames here. It's an absolutely beautiful card because the number 4 has to do with solidness. It has to do with all things square. And that comes as a cube if you look at it from that perspective. And this is about the home. The flames is about the passions and all the things, all the feelings. As some people would say, all the feels. It would be all about all the feels. So by all means, take a look at this. And oh dear, now what did I do? I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. I better go back here. There we go. There we go. Okay. We're okay. We're okay. I am not tech. I'm not a tech person. So this is very good, Jaylene. It just looks like you've got some things that you need to bring home to you.
Yes.
So it's not just about your house at home, even though this is about the physical world as well, but it's about your home being here. Or, the saying, the home is where your heart is. You need to bring home to you what is in your heart. So it's time to look at what is in your heart and what you are doing about that.
Also a new dream. There's talking about a new dream. So bringing that new dream into your body. There's something about a new dream that is going to work for you. That it's time for a new way of seeing life and a new way of being in it, and dreaming something in that's going to feed you in a deeper way. You're kind of on a little bit of a shift here.
Absolutely. I feel that too for you as well, Jaylene. And I know that you're very good at being able to it feels to me like you're really good at being able to look at something and go, yes, this is what I want. No, this is what I don't want.
Discernment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're very good at discerning. So take that. Take that. Oh, she says refresh. That's how you do that. Shelley, I've got this right here for you. Look at you go, girl. Ooh. I absolutely love this. This is about manifesting what's in your life. This is about bringing it down, girl, getting down with your fine self. And and it's like all those things, all those self-doubts, all those kinds of things that are along that line, what you had going on before. It looks to me like there's a lot of that has sort of gone by the wayside. And I really think, that you're really recognizing and trusting in that universal process. This is what this looks to me. I think keep up with the good work. Keep going. Keep going. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Stars can be a connection to home. And so I'm actually getting a bit of a feeling that sometimes you get homesick. And I don't mean homesick as in, where we grew up, but homesick as in homesick sometimes. And how to be here and enjoy being here. And remembering and knowing and being with connection, but also enjoying actually being here because you chose to be here. Yeah,
I think so. I would agree with that.
I know I fight with that sometimes. Oh, I love being here. I mean, this is an amazing time to be here. Just got to say, but every once in a while, it's like,
yes, absolutely,
get a little homesick.
Oh, or a lot homesick. I tell you, when we talk about death, that kind of a thing, there's many times that it's like, because death doesn't scare us. There's so many people that feel that, well, if we're not afraid of death, then more of us will take our lives.
Yeah, no,
it's not like that. We begin to appreciate life even more.
Exactly.
And that's what it's done for me, is that feeling sometimes of wanting to go home has been just sometimes when things get so rough here on this planet, it's just like, oh my God, I need a rest. I need a break.
That's when you create a vacation.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, also, we're going to pull a card for Scott. And and see what. Oh, Scott, good heavens. What are you doing, my dear?
Wow.
This is the 7 of crystals. Now, crystals are about the material world, and not just material in the sense of just money. It's about your health, your home, all those kinds of things. And it looks like you're kind of at odds with it a bit in regards to where am I going to be? What am I going to do when I grow up? There's a lot of these kinds of questions that are going on for you. And they're good questions. You do need to answer those.
Focus.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Focus.
Find your focus and then go into inquiry. Find out what it is that makes you tick.
Yes, absolutely. So what is that? What is it that makes you tick? Okay. And I would say, oh gosh, we're going to have to come up with something that works a lot better than this, because I'm looking at something that's a little bit frustrating.
So Scott, I love that you are internal, that you do, as we call it, stare at our belly buttons, that you do look inward, and that's a very positive thing. Remember that the inside of ourselves is just as expansive as what we see and tend to look outside of for us as well. And you have a wisdom that is absolutely in your favor. And yeah, it's just about focus and figuring out what makes you tick and what you want.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. I think on this planet, we're all just trying to do our best. And hopefully, none of us are off of our paths if we really think about it, because we're here to grow and we're here to learn. And as long as you're learning and growing, you're on your path.
Exactly.
Quite honestly, I really believe that.
Byron Katie says, we're all confused. I agree.
All beautifully confused.
All beautifully confused. I agree.
Janice, I'm picking a card for you. I love this, Janice. This really looks like it's very restful, is it not?
Wow.
What a restful card to look at. And as you know, the 3 of crystals, that is again about the material world. And it looks like you're just really doing a good job with that. It looks like you're really getting things pulled into balance. You're starting to reap the benefits of what's going on in your life. I absolutely think that's phenomenal. You're right on track. You're doing excellent work, my dear. You keep going. Keep going with that. You're going in the right direction. Everything points that whatever direction you're thinking of going, go in that direction. It's absolutely perfect for you.
Yeah. Could I add to that?
Yes.
3 to me is an alchemical number. So working with alchemy and of course crystals on top of that. But what this says to me is that you're actually seeing magic in everything, in every day.
She does.
And so that's amazing all by itself. And that's wonderful because you're recognizing, you're aware, and you're seeing that magic every day. Yay.
Yay. Rhonda, I'm getting some comments back from people here that are saying the sound comes and goes. Now, I'm not sure if it's because this mic is not working as well as it should. So we'll try and talk into the mic and not move around so much. Maybe that will make a difference. Rhonda, I'm pulling a card for you. And congratulations on being the last week's winner. This is really wonderful. This is showing a woman again where we're working with crystals. I find that with this group, we work a lot with crystals. But what I'm really getting is I'm really focused on the owl that's up in that corner. Do you see the owl? And this owl is whispering to her, talking to her. It reminds me very much of Spirit is talking to you all the time, Rhonda. And if you quiet yourself down and ask yourself the question, Give me a sign of your wisdom. Give me a sign that it will tell me what it is I need to know next. What is my next step? Where do I need to go? Where's the wisdom? Allow yourself to then bring that wisdom in. So this is what you can do. Have you got anything you'd like to add to that?
Through shamanic teachings in many different modalities and ways across the world, owl can often be a representative of seeing not only all around you, but also in the dark. And for me, it's speaking about how you're able now to see into your shadow, to look into your shadow, because that's where most of our magic is. And our imagination and those beautiful things that we've been told that we're not allowed to have as a human. So, yeah, be able to step into that shadow piece and enjoy that too. That's awesome.
Also trust your instincts with your son. I pulled a card for him. Now in the what comes up is the Master of Orbs. This means that he's overthinking things. This is what I'm feeling, is that he needs to pull things down to his heart. He needs to start allowing himself to feel what's going on inside of himself and allow that to be authentic. Like, not try to fight the feelings that are wanting to come up, and not trying to think them down and think them down and think them down. Rhonda really needs to talk to a counselor is what I'm feeling. And not just any counselor, of course, but it would do him really well if somebody that he trusted, somebody, and some elders, somebody that he could look at and say, yeah, I would like to talk to this person. But he really needs to talk to somebody with wisdom and somebody that's heart-centered. Okay, that's what is there something you'd like to add to that for Rhonda?
Yeah, his focus has been more about what's not working rather than what is working. And to be able to shift that a little would really be helpful. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Okay. We're going to move on to the next person. Adat, I'm hoping you are hearing this. And sometimes I know we're fading in and out, but again, we're new at this, and we will have this problem fixed. So hopefully you're hearing this. Adet, I'm pulling a card for you. I am seeing, again, 8 of crystals. There's a lot of crystals that come up in this group.
Yeah, wow.
I'm serious. And this 8 of crystals, what I love about this card is it's showing somebody who is holding up a crystal while the 7 other crystals are below him. Now, what I see about this is that sometimes there's so many wonderful things that we can be doing. We could be doing hundreds of different things, and they're all good ideas. It feels to me like you need to just focus on one area specifically and give that your energy for now. Just for now. All those other ideas are there for you to work with whenever you want to. But it would really be a good idea for you to just take one thing and really work with that. Okay? Have you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, there's somebody who has a problem and you're taking their problem on, and you have to hand it back. It's not yours to fix. That's what I got.
That's all I got, baby.
That's all I got.
That's all we got, Adet.
It's wanting, you because you're so heart-centered, you want to help, and you want to fix. But with this person, you can't. This is actually a piece that they've got to fix themselves. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I'm hoping that we've got mostly everybody. And again, if I forgot anybody or missed anybody, please please
forgive us.
Forgive us. You know, what was that? Because we're all confused. I'm so confused. But what I would like to do now is we're coming. It's not all that long before we're coming to a close here. Is there anybody you would like to do a message for specifically?
Oh, you've got me. You've surprised me.
Surprise!
Yeah, Zane.
Zane?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull a card and see what Zane is up to. I think as a guest, you know.
Thanks. This is awesome.
Now, as you know, the alchemy of 5. Yeah. This makes sense.
Yep.
Yes. It is very much of the heart and soul and passions. And I don't know. I almost get a feeling like it's about community.
Yep. For him, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a feeling like you've got to find your own flame within that community about who you are, that you do not equal the community. Everybody's flame is different.
Yeah, he's a wonderful leader inside of his communities. And the problem is he looks after everybody else but not himself.
Exactly. So Zane, that's what this would be for you about, is to find your own flame and allow it to burn brightly for you within your community. So you need to, what happens is when we take care of everybody else, many times our pilot light goes out. And we don't want that. We don't want your pilot light going out because it feels to me like we need you.
Yes, very much. This is my brother, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice,
so
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so what we're going to do is I do want to pull a card for somebody. Her name is Cheryl. She knows who she is. And, oh, Cheryl, I don't know if I like this card. Well, actually, I do now that I'm feeling it out. Now, 9 is about, it's about those endings. It's about coming to the end of something. When you're looking at the alchemy, 9 is finishing things up. And it looks to me like all the issues that have been around that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, jeepers. Oh, just when you
technical difficulties.
Just when you think you get it all figured out. So this would be about, it's good to see that you are bringing things into awareness and alignment, that you're finally realizing where those things are that you are having trouble with. Okay. And you're putting them all, like you're lining them up like ducks in a row. You're getting them there and you're finding the wisdom around all of that. So it looks like you're coming out of that. It looks like you're coming out of all this stuff that was on you. Like, where do I go? Where do I go? So much on your plate. And you're taking care of it. So all of that is coming to an end, and you will find that there's going to be a lot of clarity coming your way. Okay, so focus in on that. Does that make sense to you, my dear?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
It does. There's also something about some of those orbs that you've been holding aren't yours as well. And as you rise out of this sort of process that you're going through, this shift, it's really important to get out into nature, to get out into the natural world and let it feed you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good idea.
They're calling you.
I think I'll do that myself.
Yeah. That's a message for everybody, but most certainly for yourself. There's a rejuvenation needs to happen, and really the only way to get that is through nature in that way. Can't get it from people.
One more is for Carol Lee. This is the 8 of Flames, and this is just like, wow, look at her go.
Yeah.
Zoomies. You know when dogs run around the yard and they go crazy running around the yard? They call that zoomies. The dogs have the zoomies. Well, this looks like this is what it feels like inside for you. If you could be a dog, you'd be running around the yard doing zoomies. And this is what it feels like. There's a lot on the horizon for you that is absolutely bright, wonderful, beautiful. It's like there's things that are being realized for you that you've waited a long time for. Is there anything you feeling about that as well?
I think it's what I love about that is although it seems like there's lots of movement, there's one focus. And so that's really helpful that you're coming at it from all angles. That there's no chance for it not to be successful because it doesn't have a chance. You're on it like glue.
Woohoo.
And it's good. It's good. It's positive. Yeah.
If you knew how true that was. Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Absolutely. If you knew how true this was. So this brings us to doing a quick reading for the week. I pulled some cards here for the week.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. It looks like some of those doldrums that have hit us. You know how summertime could be a time of lethargy for some people. You know, where we get to that point of where we want to share who we are. We want to do things. Sometimes we don't get the things done that we all want to do. So instead of feeling okay about that, we let it get us down. So don't do that. Don't let it get you down. You can't do everything all at once. You are where you are. You might as well just accept it and say, okay, this is where I'm at. Understand that it's not the outside world that brings happiness. It is the inside world that brings happiness. Always the inside world that brings happiness. Remember that it is so important for you to step into your happiness, your passions, do whatever it takes, and then the rest will take care of you. So the world will take care of you. The universe does have your back when you are open and willing to allow all of that to come to you. Because just by focusing on happiness, and that's all you have to do, it has a trickle-down effect. And it trickles down into the rest of your life. Allow that to happen for you. Okay? Is there anything you'd like to add for the week?
An awareness that like you said, there's so much working with you at this time.
Right.
And summer, as you spoke of summer, what struck me was, winter is actually our dreaming time, but we're so active. We're in this society, we're just go, 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 that by the time summer comes, we're actually exhausted. Yes. It should be that we're moving in summer and resting in winter, but we've got a bit backwards in this society. So honor your time to rest.
Yes.
Resting is not being lazy. Resting is caring for self, and it's really, really important to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you go into your week, and I'm going to close this show by telling you next week we're having Tracy Horseman on, who's psychic medium, who walks with a foot on both sides of the world, mostly on the other side. And she is absolutely a delightful lady. and you will love her as well. Of course, I fall in love with everybody here, you know.
And we her.
And so going into the week and to end the show, there's a blessing for the week. This is your blessing. So we'll close the show with a blessing for the week.
Thank you, Sheryl. Thank you for inviting me. It's been an honor to be here. And I'm so happy that you're doing this. The more awareness, the more we're out here, the better it is. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay, here we go, everybody. So, blessings for the week. Today and this week, I honor creation and my ancestors. I call to the light that shines within me and brings my next breath. I call to the spirits of those who have come before me, my spirit of spirit, bone of my bone and blood of my blood, your memories alive within me. You who watch over me, protecting and guiding me, I love you, I honor you, and I raise this face to feel you, hear you in my heart, my mind, my body, and my spirit. My ancestors, I release myself from your burdens, and I accept and honor you for your blessings. I am, because of you, creation in form. You live within me, in those after me, and in those yet to come. And so as I walk this journey, be with me, sacred ones. As I walk this journey, breathe with me, sacred ones, knowing that I am from the love of thousands and so much more. Amen.
Amen. Aho.
Oh.
Namaste, everybody. Great love to you throughout the week. Be happy, like the song, and many blessings. We'll see you next week.
Bye.